Good afternoon traders, Joseph here from Eightcap. Welcome to this week's weekly wrap. So a few things have happened this week have been a touch more interesting. The dollar has definitely been interesting. Looking at the index here, and we can see that we've had this nice breakout above this resistance point and above this resistance point here. So the dollar is off and running for now. We have a nice trend here, and I think now what we're really waiting for is the next pullback to see if we get new higher lows and higher highs, just to keep pushing up higher. So this trend is broken through, and we now have a break through the range here as well. So we've had a little test of that range and a bounce, and we've seen that first pullback. So staying with the dollar yen was definitely of interest this week as well. We had a breakout above this resistance here, and that's not a move not seen since December last year. So this is really coming down to a very firm dollar and a weaker yen. It's been quite a mixed week for the risk majors, so we can see some of the risk majors here. We can see those moves lower as the dollar has continued to push higher. And then we look over at the yen to the yen, and we can see some very nice moves higher against the yen. And another big winner this week from the decline of the yen has been the Japanese Nikkei. This is the JPN 225, which tracks the Nikkei to CFD market, and we can just see here, if we just zoom out a bit, I'll just switch to the weekly, see a little bit better. We can see a move into areas not seen since 2021, and we've had a break of that high and new high set today. So higher price being 39.64. So it's been a real beautiful ascent from the JPN 225, and we can just see here how nice this trend has been. And really, there's been a bit of talk about foreign investment coming back into Japanese stocks, and combine that with a weak yen, and with the Bank of Japan not doing anything that's really out of the ordinary to strengthen the yen, we can just see this progression here. So it's been one of the best performers this week. The German 30 as well has had a nice week. We saw a breakout out of this area of resistance here. There was a bit of a consolidation pattern. Had a nice move earlier in the week, and we just saw that back up there, yeah, with that very strong move out. So just taking a look at this one from a bit of a wider perspective, we can see how nice this rally is and how good this little breakout is. And we're not far away from testing those highs that were set back in 2021. So we can continue to focus on the German 30 and see if we do get a test or break over these highs set back in 2021. Now, we've also seen some good moves on the Nasdaq as well this week. We've had a continuation of this breakout, and we can see that was the breakout originally here, and it's pushed higher. It's finally broken this high set back in August in 2022 before that really big decline started, and we can see this trend continues to go. This will be our next test. It'll be 14,230, and then from there we'd be looking to see if it can get back up to and test this 15,241 area. The S&P as well has also been trading at levels a little bit higher than normal. We've seen a break above this resistance here, and this could also be a breakout as well, so we continue to keep an eye on it. It's at 41.77, and we'll just see it is heavily, the CCI is really in a pretty extreme point right now, but that doesn't mean this trend's going to stop. It just means that we may see a pullback, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye on this trend to see if it can continue. We really want to see price stay above this level though. Move back into these areas could be a small worry. Any type of support found on the previous breakout, like we saw on one of the markets we just discussed before, the dollar index, that would be a good sign, and it would just show buyer momentum and strength. So some quite exciting things to keep an eye on. If we do see higher lows on the Nasdaq or the S&P, it could be good buying opportunities if we do get further confirmation that the trends will continue. So definitely worth keeping an eye on those indexes. The Dow is lagging at the moment. It's not doing too much at the moment. The debt ceiling, well, I'm not going to say crisis issue, it still continues, but there could be a vote on the debt ceiling as soon as next week. So that definitely got the markets going this week when a bit more positive news came out about it. We had a pretty choppy day yesterday on the Dow. If we just zoom in, we can see that there. There was a bit of a decline. The markets did swing around again and has broken through that trend line there. But out of the three, definitely the Nasdaq and the S&P look to be better markets at the moment, and then some of the other markets like the German 30 for instance just to look a lot more cleaner after breaking out of those ranges, and would really, just like I mentioned before, we'll look to see the next pullback, and if we do get signs of a higher low and then confirmation, there could be new buys there as long as things stay the same. But I think if they do get an agreement on the debt ceiling, it should be a positive for stocks. And looking at the risk majors at the moment, so even with the Australian data coming out, the employment data coming out weaker than expected, the Aussie still continues to hold above this support here. It's around that 66 area. As long as it stays above there, and if the dollar does start to pull back, we may see a bit of movement to the upside. But a break of this area could be a bit of a warning for the Aussie. But we've seen it defended for a fair while now, even going all the way back to this point here in March. So we'll continue to look to see if that can hold firm. The euro and the pound. So the pound has been trading lower. It still holds quite well in this uptrend. So we're not really calling too much issues with it just yet. There's a fair bit of support here as well, so as long as we can see buyers continue to hold around that 123.77 area, that would be a positive. Gold obviously has been declining this week with the dollar firming. We've seen a fair bit of movement, so it has been a break in this fast trend. It's pretty much locked down in now. There was a fair bit of support that broke through yesterday, so for gold really we just want to see the next rally if it's a lower high, and then we do break that low. If the dollar's continuing to push up, then yeah, there definitely could be something on to watch on the sell side. But just remember though, it's still in this very strong trend here, and this could just be a pullback in the trend. So if you do see a higher move with a new higher low and a new push higher, that could be a sign of a deeper retracement, or it could be something a little bit more. So there's a couple price areas to watch on gold as well at the moment. So moving on, we'll just keep rolling on. Sorry about that. Crypto continues to it isn't really doing too much at the moment. We can see Bitcoin here is in a bit of a range. It has broken through this fast trend. It is trying to grind lower. Sellers are having problems though at 26,440, and while that level holds, and while this point holds against buyers here at 27,353 to the 400 area, that should be just keep seeing Bitcoin just trading a little bit range bound. And same with Ethereum. Ethereum has some decent support here at 1786 and short-term resistance at 1828. Pretty range bound again. It does look like there's a bit of a channel here. It's a bit rough, but a bit of a price channel. So there could be signs there is some accumulation trying to form here. But again, until we see something that really signifies a breakout, I think it's best to keep an eye on it for now. Ripple was a bit interesting this week. There was a bit of a news on the SEC front. We saw a very strong rally followed up by another decent rally, and today we'd like to see if buyers can get back up to, to test this high of the week, and then obviously this area here at 0.474, that's resistance all the way up to around that 0.48 area. They really need to test that and break that to really get this thing going again. But definitely looking at it, we can see a nice higher low here and a new thrust upwards, so that's a good sign. And if the SEC do lose the case to Ripple Labs, that could be a really fantastic return for XRP. But it's a news play, and we'll have to wait and see what eventuates with that, and if where do we see that. Conversely, if we do see a big pullback, we want to see this area here down to around 0.413 hold as support. So now coming up for the rest of this week, we do have really just the Fed Chair Powell speaking. That's coming out at 1 AM local time, which is Australian Eastern Standard Time. And looking out to next week, let's have a look here. So we have the G7 meetings as well over the weekend on Sunday. We also have on Tuesday the flash services and manufacturing PMI data coming out of Europe, and they're also for France, Germany, the UK, and for the US. And we also have later on, we have the RBNZ cash rate. So at the moment we don't have, current rate's 5.25%. We don't have a target, and it could be increased. CPI coming out of the UK on Wednesday as well is definitely one to have a look at. Bailey's comments as well, and he'll be speaking twice on So on the 24th on Wednesday, and as we progress through the week on Thursday, we have US prelim GDP as well, which is not as good as the advanced, but you should see what comes out of that one, and unemployment claims on Thursday, and then we have the core PCE price index out in the US on Friday, and that's more of an inflationary piece. So some interesting things. Obviously the debt ceiling will take probably precedence at the moment. It's been offering a fair bit of interest to the markets recently, and the dollar at the moment is definitely one to keep an eye on heading into next week with this new breakout here with strong support. It continued to hold off from that 186 area, and we just want to see if that can continue to run. Also the dollar yen has continued to really push ground, and we want to see how things can eventuate with the dollar yen. Even if we do see a small pullback, that's fine, and then if we do want to know if we can sort of maybe even get back up to that 140, 142 area. Other risk currencies to the yen as well. I think the dollar has a little bit of interest at the moment, considering that the dollar is doing so well. Out of interest as well, the JPN 225, it's really running beautifully at the moment, and you know, it is a volatile index, and you can see some of the swings. So if we did see a big pullback, could that, you know, then, you know, set up another new push into highs? And obviously we want to definitely want to have keep a watch on the German 30 and the Nasdaq and the S&P as they continue to track into new highs not seen for, you know, some periods of time. The Nasdaq, as mentioned, definitely looks like they're the strongest out of the three of them right now. So with that all, that's it for this week's wrap up. So thank you very much for your time. If you are enjoying the content, feel free to subscribe and give us a like. Otherwise, yeah, please feel free to let me know if there's any comments you have, or if there's any markets you would like to know more about, or anything else. Just feel free to drop us a comment on the YouTube video. So have a fantastic weekend. Thank you again very much once again for tuning in, and good trading for the rest of the day, and bye for now.